All right, welcome back. Just breezing through this first hour here of a Freaky Friday edition of Liquid Lunch. So many freaky things going on in our world that was once known as civilization. Certainly in our presidential races, markets are pretty crazy today too, down 300 on the Dow. Bitcoin 1,500 points off its highs of Monday. 12,000 at 10,500. So Bitcoin taking a little bit of a beating here too, along with the markets. And I think there's a tremendous buying opportunity anywhere here in the tens. My last purchase, as you know, was at 8,000, so I'm still holding strong. Now, personality apparently is a big determinant in who the president is of our country, and someone who knows all about personality and more is Merrick Rosenberg. Joins me right now. He's the author of Personality Wins: Who Will Take the White House and How We Know. I don't know, Merrick. I am partial to Trump. I'm a registered independent, but I think if it just comes down to personality, there's no contest here because Joe Biden is a shell of a man. He doesn't have a personality, I don't think.
Well, it's interesting, John, because what we find is that people who have big personalities do tend to win presidential elections. It's happened since 1932, all the way back, 22 straight elections. These guys behind me, Eagles, big energy, take charge, parrots, social, optimistic folks, tend to beat what I call the more harmonious, compassionate doves, more logical, analytical owls. Every election since 1932, big energy of the eagle and parrot beats the dove and the owl consistently.
Wow. So I still have a shot to be president one day, is what you're saying.
You're ready. I'm sensing some eagle, so you have a chance.
All right, I'm joking around with you. My team thinks that I have an outsized personality, and they think that, almost pretty much all three of my alter egos are all like way overly egotistical, and they remind me of that often. So I may be a candidate for a study for you or something, but people, you say there's a time-honored tradition of people actually, kind of falling in love or not with a candidate based off their personality traits. Like, I like that about him. He's fun, he's exciting, he's energetic. Those are the things that draw people in more than, a Ben Carson type of guy who's a brilliant genius, but just no charisma there.
Exactly right. If you look at this election, you have somebody like Pete Buttigieg, who's the dove, very harmonious, very compassionate, but on a big stage, it just doesn't fly relative to that parrot energy that's fun. You picture somebody like a Reagan, a big smile, or Bill Clinton, JFK. They just had charisma. They had that it factor. And the people who are more reserved, whether you go to both parties, like a Mitt Romney or a John Kerry or a Dukakis, that very analytical style just doesn't sell and create excitement in the electorate. And those big personalities win on a big stage.
And Obama, he was basically like a cult of personality, right? It wasn't anything about him. He was the young, black male, and it was his moment. To me, he was like a cult.
Well, but part of it was his personality too. For those who like Obama, he had a kind of a quiet wisdom. He didn't have that big outsized personality that you talked about a moment ago, but people liked him because he just was very calm. They always talked about no drama Obama. He was like the eye of the hurricane. And it is interesting that he did win. He doesn't have that big energy charisma, but his style, he can win elections. His style, he can do it. So it's kind of fun to watch.
Merrick, you and your co-author Richard Ellis believe that you have developed an unprecedented system to reveal a pattern of what gets people to the White House. Now, can I get the formula? It's in the book. What's this system?
So if you go back to 1932, what you see is in every election, an eagle or a parrot beats a dove or an owl. So eagle, take charge energy, parrot, fun and social. I think about like somebody like a Jimmy Carter. He's the dove, very compassionate, very caring. He wins an election because he's going against Ford. But Ford was also a dove. As soon as he goes against Reagan, big parrot energy, he loses. George H.W. Bush, he's an owl, very analytical. Okay, fine. So he goes against Dukakis, another owl. And Owl's winning that election. As soon as he goes against someone who is more of the parrot, like Bill Clinton, he loses. And that happened in every single election.
Wow.
Going to 22 in a row.
So let me try to understand this, because I like the illusion with an A, the line, the parrot and the eagle. Why is a parrot a creature of power in your system?
So, and when you think of a parrot, what comes to mind for you? Like, when think of a person who had the trait, right? They're talkative, they're outgoing, they're charismatic, they're optimistic, they're fun, and when you bring that kind of an energy, that charisma sells.
Yeah,
Reagan
but they're also trapped
it.
in a cage 24 hours a day, and they only can repeat things other people have said. They're not really, independent thinkers. So somewhere in there, you need the ability of parroting, like finding the right lines that work for you, and then just keep saying them over and over again. Is that part of it?
Yeah. They're the storytellers. They're talkers. I mean, if you think about, as opposed to being locked in a cage, think of them as just talking all day long, and they are the storytellers. You picture somebody like Reagan. He was an amazing storyteller. Every time he shared an example or a statistic, it always came with a story. And when you communicate in stories, that sells. Statistics and data just don't motivate people. They don't excite people. Elizabeth Warren was selling shirts that said Warren had a plan for that. Plans don't excite people.
Yeah.
Charisma excites people.
You know what Mike Tyson said about plans, right? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, plans are for losers. You know what I mean? I honestly, just in my real life, I'm working on Wall Street for 30 years, and I've seen the same guys walking the same circuit for the same 30 years. They always got a plan, but they never get anything done. They're always mired in, trying to find the next paycheck, right? And it's the guys who, to me, it's the guys that go for a 3-martini lunch and write some scraps down on the back of a piece of paper and look each other in the eye and say, you good? I'm good? Let's do this, right? And start it. And that, plans, nobody likes plans, but we got people that do the planning later. You know what I mean? The fire starters, the people that, like you said, have the personality, can get out there and do it. The other people follow up with all the planning, the dates and the times and all that other stuff, right? I guess that's the alpha part of it.
Yeah, you look. Martin Luther King stood out on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and said, "I have a dream," and people are still talking about that speech. If he stood out there and said, "I have a plan," would people still be talking about that speech?
Wow.
And that's the problem. It's dreams and vision and excitement motivate people, and guess where they motivate people? In the voting booth. And that's why these big personalities tend to win.
So let me ask you this. According to your system, I'm not asking you where you weigh in personally, but according to your system, this should be an easy victory for the Eagle.
One would think so. Look, I said it last time, the entire election, you got Trump versus, who was an Eagle, got Hillary, Owl. The entire time, I didn't care what the polls said. I was saying Trump's going to win it. And Trump won because of his personality. If he loses, it will still be because of his personality. Because what happens is when you use your personality as a strength, it drives your success. It's like your greatest asset is what's driving your success. But if you overuse your personality, your greatest asset becomes the liability.
Yeah.
And this is
that's
Trump,
funny.
This is his challenge.
That's funny. I want to tell you something.
Right.
I have two brothers, right? I'm the oldest. I'm probably the most alpha. I've been in the business longer than them, and we've always been in business together, but I'm always, kind of looked at as the older brother and everything else. And there are people in this earth that I have made millions for, and they hate John Tobacco, okay? And then there are other people I've made nothing for and just been friends and love John. It's like a love-hate thing with my personality. But everybody loves my brothers, both ways. So am I overplaying my personality? Is that what's happening here?
That's exactly right. You see, what happens is if you take the Eagle and you dial it up. Assertiveness becomes aggressive. Directness becomes blunt. When you take that eagle style and you dial it up too much, it offends people.
Got it.
And when you use it at a healthy level, people love the confidence, they love the directness, you call it like it is. And that, I think, is what really appealed to people about Trump back in 2016.
Yep.
But
right.
Now, if he loses, it will be because his personality.
Same thing worked against him.
He said it the other day. He said it.
I heard him. All right, Merrick, we got to leave it there. Merrick Rosenberg is the author of Personality Wins, Who Will Take the White House, and How We Know, is co-author, and Richard Ellis is co-author, and he developed an unprecedented system to reveal the pattern of who will take the White House and why. Check out the book. Check out Liquid Lunch in just a couple minutes. We'll be back right after this.